Terev Island must have the hottest summers anywhere.
Hello Epic 7, and welcome to my video for Midsummer Paradise Level 5 without Lethe. That's right, we're doing the hardest content for this side story without the main character, who frankly makes this a whole lot easier. So if you've got Lethe, use her. If not, this is the team for you. And I tried to make this team as free to play as possible. We're not going to use any ML5 units, we're not going to use any limited units, we're not going to use any limited artifacts, and I'm trying to keep the number of 5 stars we use down to a bare minimum. It really is a pretty easy event, guys. If you need substitutions, pretty much any of the DPS units can be replaced by 5-star DPS units that you already have. But let's jump in and discuss it. And that way you guys can get your Lethe stamp as well. So here we go, guys. This is as free to play as it gets. Now some of my units are a little overgeared. I didn't want to spend a ton of gold re-gearing for this, but you can dumb your characters down a whole bunch. I think you'll see with how quick I clear it that lower stats are perfectly fine for this. First of all, the effect resistance is actually working against me. It pushed Asaria back and not Tam and messed with my speed tuning. You don't need nearly that much effectiveness, you don't need nearly that much speed. A little bit of bulk is good. I liked Magahara's Tome on her for pipe cycling, but you know what? On second thought, you really may want to consider Prophetic Candlestick. Prophetic Candlestick has a 40% chance to reduce her skill cooldowns when she's hit, and that can make round 2 a whole lot easier, because Asaria won't be there to reset her. And speaking of Asaria, Tamarin's best friend will be on our team. Again, overgeared. If you have Song of Stars, that's awesome. Extra damage from that debuff is great and will speed along. If you don't have it, you can run just about any artifact you want on Asaria. You don't need that much effectiveness, you certainly don't need that much speed. As long as she's faster than Tamarin, that's all that really matters. You do want a little bit of bulk on her to make her survivable. Enough effectiveness to strip the boss too. And I just ran 2 DPS units. I picked Commander Lorena because she's a 3-star, and also because she's a warrior, so she can wear Lethe's artifact. I know, I said no limited artifacts. It's only there for the currency. I didn't want to miss out on coins. You can get this artifact from the shop, or just ditch it and put a damage artifact like Symbol of Unity or Exorcist Tonfa. Do not run Daydream Joker. Daydream Joker does not work in any of the side stories this week, and all it will do is give you a little extra stats. And Sid is my next unit, and you could run any unit in place of Sid that does great damage. Now, my Sid is my RTA Sid. He doesn't need to be this fast, guys. In fact, put him on attack boots if you need that to get the stats. Yeah, he is a speed scaler, but attack is more important. I put him on his number 3 EE to give me advantageous elements so that he does more damage, and I put him on Elia's Knife because penetration on Sid is great. You could run other DPSs, Alencia, Shu, Rylet, Violet, whole host of good solid nuking DPSs on that top team. On the bottom team, I am running a really jank Sigrid. She's not even ready for Wyvern 13, I don't think. She's got 72% crit chance. That could be a problem. She's on her number 2 EE for extra bleeds, but she's only got 20% effectiveness. I don't even know what the heck that artifact is on her for. She's got level 67 armor and level 85 helm. Please make a better Sigrid than this, guys. We're going to run Adventurer Ross. I think his dual attacks, by the time we get to stage 3, he should have plenty of souls to spam his dual attacks, but you know what? Even though Arius would help me stay alive a little bit longer, I'm going to slip into a little something different here. Midnight Bloom, which you can get from the Full Moon Festival event anytime you want. That's going to give me 16%. That gets my Sigrid up to like 88% crit chance. That's better than 72. And my last free-to-play unit is Savior Auden. Now, I know she's not geared free-to-play, but again, you don't need to gear her this strong. I like her on her own artifact. The boss is dark, and that gives extra damage. Again, you don't need her this fast. put attack boots on her if that's what you need to get the damage stats. Or just run different units. Any good solid nukers, Sirmia, Luna, just make sure you don't run a mage. And also make sure you take your event currency pet for bonus currency. Now since we only have to do this event one time, we're going to do it on manual. Now at the start of the fight, Crocilla does an AoE attack that pushes everybody back except my Tam because I had too much ER. So the ER worked against me. So I'll just have Tam do her S2 to heal up, and now Isari can use her S2 and reset Tamarin. That way Tam's ready to transform on her next turn. We use the S3 to try to strip this eyeball monster. If you do not strip the defense buff, I just recommend restarting. And we did. We stripped the defense buff, so now Sid can go in with his S3, and he should do pretty terrific damage. Not bad. And you know what? It's not so bad because everybody has bleeds, and now Tam can cleanse that. So Tamarin transforms and heals and S2s and pushes and attack buffs and does all the wonderful things that Tamarin does. I'm just going to S1. I want to save my S3 for the big boss monster. Refresh that target buff, and Sid should kill. Oh, definitely with a dual attack. I think he killed anyway. The S1 strips the defense buff off Crocilla. I'm going to save Lorina's S3 until I get a target debuff on there. Sid chipping away. There's our target debuff. Oh, the attack down on Lorina really hurts. But it is what it is. Sid's ready to S3 again, so we rip that. Dang, Sid, calm down. Lorina should be good with her S3. I could burn it, but I want to save it. I need to make sure my Tamarin's ready to transform for next phase. And Isari has one more turn.
Shall I attack? This is going to hurt.
You know what? I might kill this thing before Isari is ready to reset her, but you know what? Tam is going to be ready to transform next turn. If you're running slower though, you hold on this skill, you let Tam transform, and then while Tam is transformed, you reset her. And that way, as soon as she comes out of transformation, she's ready to go right back in. You can reset her inside of her transformation phase. But we're going to just sit on it and be ready to transform inside of phase 2. And Lorina's a beaver. Don't worry too much about the beaver thing. With Tamarin's S2 CR pushing, you'll cycle them out of that beaver form pretty quickly. But we push out of this phase, no problem. And Tamarin's hurt, but she's ready to transform, so she'll heal up to full once I press that button. I'm going to save the S3 until I get an attack buff.
You can't close your eyes.
Transform to fully heal Tam. Now, if you're on Prophetic Candlestick, you'd probably want to S1 here for the strip, but because I'm on Magahara's Tome, I should cycle around and be able to strip with her S1 before anybody else really takes a turn. So we strip. Hey, we got the strip. And some debuffs. I'm going to rip her S3 here because there's debuffs on the eyeball, and her S3 hits really hard into multiple debuffs. Yeah, it almost killed it. You know what? I'm going to save my S3 so I can drop it into Crocilla. I want that big S3 damage into that dark unit.
Should we get started?
Like I thought, we have plenty of souls in phase 2, so Ras can soul burn his S2 for dual attacks. We'll go ahead and push everybody up and restock our attack buff. And here comes the big hit. Yeah, that wasn't bad. Worth waiting. Because we're below 50%, I'll get the extra swipe out of Sigrid's S2. Hey, we even got a bleed. That'll help with her rage set.
I'll protect you.
Tamarin S1s. Ras has infinite souls for soul burning. And next turn, Tam's ready to transform again. That's great.
Alright, let's do this.
Soul burn.
This won't be an easy fight.
Understood. You can't close your eyes.
Go ahead and transform, start pushing people around.
To my song. Listen to me sing.
S2 for the attack buff, the heals, and the pushes.
I'm here.
A good hit off.
Preparations are complete.
Ta-da! Here!
Here I go.
So I think you see, even with lower
Should we get
gear,
started?
I think I could take boots off of everybody and still clear this. We're nowhere near the berserk.
Shine free!
We have never been in danger of dying, and
Power of all.
yeah, I think this is just really easy. And if you need an auto team for level 4, you can run this team on full auto for floor 4. Works just fine. It's slow. You can definitely make better teams, but if you need one, this one will work for you. And that's how we clear Stage 5 without Lethe. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. I hope it's helping some of you out who are struggling. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments section. If you have advice for people on teams you think might be better, go ahead and post those as well. I'm sure other people who don't have certain units here would like to see your solutions, especially free-to-play solutions, to this level of the event. Have a great rest of your